And this kid. He needs no introduction. Grab the mic.
I'm back.
We got to just sign him to an NIL deal, right?
Yeah, we're talking to our lawyers
love
about
it.
this, Gary. Don't worry.
So Gary came out, executed, defended the crown.
403.
Yes.
It was tough out there in terms of like the what was the half split 202?
Well, you guys went out a little slower. Was that the plan?
I don't think no, it wasn't the plan. We were definitely looking to go out a little faster with the pace, but I'm not sure what happened. I think there was definitely like some confusion with marks on the track and stuff with the pace, but I mean you got to be able to adjust to whatever you're given, and I mean it's not easy pacing. I've got a pacing job under my belt now from Brooks, so I realized how it's not easy, but I adjusted. I was able to kind of adapt and then run a fast time for the win.
So when you ran at Penn Relays, you started, over here, right?
Yeah.
Which side do you like better?
I like that side better. That feels like the normal side. Like that side felt weird to me. I felt like I was starting at the 200.
Everyone always does it, like they don't realize where the finish line is over here, right? Like
Yeah, it's
and then
weird.
The 200 split gets confusing.
That's kind of what happened today, actually, with the 200 split.
So what was it like, I guess, like final high school race in this stadium, and they introduce you, the crowd goes pretty nuts for you. I mean, how did that feel now that it's done, it's over?
It's weird. I mean, I wouldn't have wanted to end it any other way. It was awesome to be here in front of the crowd, but it almost feels like my high school career was just getting started. So it's weird that it's done now. Like, I feel like it's funny because I accomplished so much in the last 2 years, but I feel like I'm just like scratching the surface of my place in this sport. So it's awesome to see what the future holds.
When you guys went out in 63, 64, I turned, I think, to Mac and I said, all right, let's find out who's going to be good in college.
Yeah.
So I guess, the ability to shift gears, we've seen you run even split, but clearly today, like when you guys came through 400, you turned it on a little bit. Is that something that you practice? Because I think that it is a developed skill. It's something that a lot of high schoolers do struggle with.
I don't think it's something I practice too much. I think it was more of I think I've run that pace so much, like there was 59, 60s, that when I came through at 64, it was kind of like, hey, that pace was off, let's get back on. And I was able to just kind of settle in where I normally am. And I didn't kick as much as I wanted to. Like obviously I would have liked to have closed at like 56, but I knew I was in a good spot to win it, and that was kind of most important. So.
You won the race with 3 laps to go because you seem to be the only one who's, saw the clock and said, all right, let's get going.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think we all knew the paces off a little bit, but I think it kind of turned into a matter of how everyone wanted to run, whether they wanted to start splitting 59s to get back on or whether they wanted to maybe sit at 60, 61s and then try to kick. So I'm used to running the 59s straight through for my sub 4 anyways, so I kind of kicked into that gear and just sat there.
What were Coach Paul's final instructions before the last one?
Have fun, honestly. That was the big thing. There wasn't a lot of, we didn't talk strategy much. It was just, we knew I've done what I needed to do. I've proved myself. This was just about going out having fun, and my last meet was just kind of like the cherry on top.
Yeah, I said that to him when they were introducing you guys and everyone was coming out. It was sort of like someone like Devin, like this is a big moment for him to try and break 4 minutes for the mile. But seeing you come out, it was like the weight's been off your shoulders for like a couple months now. That like you seem to be out here just having fun, running relaxed, and coming out pretty confident.
I was gonna say I can't say I feel bad, but at the same time I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like, I've run the sub 4. I've proved myself, and now I'm like, I feel like the weight's lifted off my shoulders, but the other guys, like there's either they're seniors who want to do it before they go to college, or they're juniors who are trying to be one of the few juniors who have done it. So I felt like I had less pressure going into it than me.
Kyle, do you want to share with him like your hot take about the sub 4 mile and like when we're gonna stop caring?
Okay, yeah. So this is a hot take maybe, but I think after the 20th high schooler breaks 4 minutes in the mile, CITIUS stops making graphics, and now we adjusted to 3:58.
It's hard. I mean, I can't. Chris is gonna be making a graphic like every couple of days now if we keep going at this pace. So, I mean, it's weird to think about, but I don't think it's crazy when there's 5 guys do. It looks like this could become a norm, at least for this year it happened. Next year, we already have 2 juniors who have done it. We got Lex Young, Leo Young, we got Rocky Hansen, we got Devin Kipiego. There's a bunch of guys who are already knocking on the door. So, again, it's weird to think about, but it's kind of becoming a norm. So I think it could be where maybe it's 3:58's that mark, or maybe it's, I don't know, maybe we look at the 2 mile, or I don't know what it is, but I think it's kind of shifting.
Yeah. What do you think has been like the biggest thing that's kind of like, we talked to Devin about it yesterday, and seeing the photos that you guys shared from like Seattle together, it's like photos of you guys just hanging out, having fun, playing games, and like for us as fans, like we like to think that maybe in 5-6 years it's like, oh, look at that, like these two guys who made the Olympic team were hanging out, you know, as high schoolers back in the day, and sort of that friendship that you guys all have. It's like you are very supportive for one another.
Mac and I were hanging out in high school. Have you ever seen those pictures? Now look at us, Mac. Look how far we've come.
But it's like you guys have those special moments too.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it's high school special, I think, because you get to college, and obviously you're going to see guys at meets, but I don't think you really get that opportunity where you're spending 3 days together in the same hotel, hanging out, playing ping pong, playing foosball, going to an aquarium, just like walking around with these guys, and you kind of like, you get to become friends with them, you get closer with them, and you kind of gain a respect for them, because when you're just on the track, it's ultra competitive, and maybe you don't get to talk to these guys too much, and it's easy to let that competitiveness kind of like seep into how you see them. Like, you're only seeing them as a runner, but when you get to know them and hang out with them more, you become friends, and you realize how much these people are like you, that they're putting the work in, and they have a respect for you, and you have a respect for them, and it kind of, I think it grows the sport, because you get to see that these people are putting in as much work as you, and it makes you want to work harder. It's kind of inspiring.
I think that's what's really hard about, and why we don't see people like Cade who have that mindset of, you know, track and field, not track and what is it? Track it.
Track and feelings.
Track and feelings. Yeah, like, you know, that mindset like of being really competitive and stuff, because when you do start to hang out with everyone, which is really unique to track, and we were just talking to Nick Harbour about it, like you don't get that in other sports where you're traveling around with the opposing team.
And it's, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because that whole thing, like I think when I'm on the track, like I have that same mindset as Cade. Like I'm ultra competitive. I will stop at nothing to win, and I'm a competitor at heart, and I don't like to lose. But in my opinion, I think you need to separate that. Sometimes you need to separate that from the competitor versus the person, and you need to, when you're on the track, you can want to defeat your competitor and destroy them physically and mentally at all costs. But when you're off the track, you kind of have to realize, like, hey, these guys are just like me. Like, they're working just as hard. There's a lot of great guys in the sport, and you need to have respect, and really, if you have respect for them, you're going to grow closer, and you're going to want to push yourself harder to train with them.
And then destroy them physically and mentally in foosball.
Yes, exactly.
And at the aquarium.
Yes.
When we sat down in March at the Armory, could you have kind of like envisioned like the ride that the last couple months have taken you to St. Louis? I mean, how many autographs did you sign today and this weekend?
That's got to be weird.
It's definitely weird. Like, it's still like, I remember it was just a few months ago, like someone asked me my autograph. I was just like, like I just laughed. Like, I thought they were joking. I didn't think they were serious. And then I kind of realized that like people actually want my autograph, which is incredible. Like, it's super cool to me, but it's just weird because it's all happened so fast. And it's one of those things where, like, I'm a huge basketball fan. I remember going to Sixers events, like getting Sixers players autographs and stuff. And like seeing that I'm a figure in a track and field community that people look up to and people want autographs from, it means the world to me. And I'm sure it won't be the same in college, at least right away. I'm gonna have to reclaim that status.
I was gonna bring this up. It's weird because right now it's like every time you break 4, whoa, college, you show up on campus, you're not the only guy who's done that.
I'm excited for it.
And yeah, and then you go to meets and, you know, you got to start over.
I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's something I need. It's one of those things where you keep getting better. You need people and you need things to push you. So if you, obviously, like, I'm in a spot now, high school, where maybe I'm like, there's a couple people who I'm racing against and competitive with, but for the most part it's racing times. But in college, I'm starting all over. I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. I got to work my way up.
Maybe
so,
middle.
Maybe middle.
The middle of the totem pole.
In my mind, mentally I'm at the bottom. I got to work my way up and just prove myself all over again and show that I could be one of the best guys in college too, and really just keep getting better and try to make nationals and run fast there and all that.
Well, what's interesting, and maybe Matt can speak to this as well, when you show up in college, there are guys who are, maybe their personal bests are slower than you, but they can work out way better than you because they've been doing it for a few years. Like, you'll show up and a 4:04 guy is running 90 miles a week and kicking your ass in practice. And that's a weird aspect that I don't think people talk about. Mac, I know you experience this too.
Yeah, I don't know how well this mic is working, but yeah, you're gonna show up and there's gonna be guys that crush you in the fall, and you're gonna be like, okay, college running is way harder than what I anticipated, and you will be beating the crap out of them by springtime.
Yeah.
Like, not to put down your teammates or anything like that.
I know what
but
you mean.
that's going to happen. It's absolutely going to happen.
It's this weird element where like training. I think there's this idea that like whatever you do in training, like that equals this on race day. There you go, Matt.
I sound like a robot over there. This isn't professional anyway.
Just sit down.
There
We
you
don't
go.
need
Yeah,
anyone
pop
behind
it.
the camera.
Just go ahead. All right. You're good.
While Mac gets this figured out.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, well, so Gary, I guess like we're also at this point right now where like you've got your Gary Martin stands out there, right? Like the fans, and a race like this is your final high school race. Now they're like, when are we gonna see him again next? And so what are the next couple months look like for you? When do you get to campus at UVA, and then we'll probably cross maybe, right?
I mean, I think I get in like early August, like August 12th or something. I don't know the exact date, but I mean, the next couple months are just getting strong. I mean, I had a good cross country season, but I think that's where I'm going to have improvement. And I think actually I have improved a lot aerobically and with that strength side of running in track season as well, with a lot of really good tempos, a lot of really good long runs. So I think I'm already in better cross country shape than I was in cross country season, but it's a big jump from 5K to 8K or 10K. But I think it's what I'm ready to make. So just really getting that fitness in over the summer and hopefully make my debut in cross country and contribute and score.
Mac, now that you have a microphone that works, what were you going to speak on in regards to that transition?
Yeah, no, but also like, I don't know, you're good enough. You're one of the best high schoolers in the country. Like, I think it's
national champion, the best.
yeah, the best. And I just think it's so important. And obviously, I'm not going to tell you like, oh, this is what you need to do, but
If you want to win a twice.
you only have you're lucky if you're going to be healthy for 4 years, and like the opportunities that you have to perform at NCAAs, it's few. So like you're likely going to be hurt for a season or two, so that immediately cuts down your opportunities to perform. So I just like to tell people that are as good as you, do not waste your first year being like, oh, this is a growing year. Go in trying to win because you're good enough to win.
Yeah.
And like you can actually win NCAAs next year. And
I'm confident.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the mindset I've always had. Even when I wasn't that good, I need to have the mindset that I'm the best. That way I can, even if I'm not the best fitness wise, if I think I'm the best, maybe I can fake it and make it and win. And then that way when I am the best, it's even easier.
You're
If
an
that
only
makes sense.
child, aren't you,
I am
Gary?
an only child. But no, I know I have work to do. Like I'm not going. You can have that mindset going in that you're crazy talented, but you can't have the mindset going into college that you're crazy talented and you can keep doing the same thing you've been doing and keep getting better. I know I'm going to have to increase mileage and get stronger and to keep getting better at this pace and this rate. But it's something that I'm ready to do. It's something that I'm excited to do, and I want to challenge myself. So I'm excited to hopefully get after it in the fall and then transition into track and try to go win a national championship on the track.
Well, you've always got your Uncle Kyle and Uncle Mac here to,
I
pick
feel like
the
I'm
brains.
family now. Yeah.
You're definitely family. Any last thoughts for Gary?
Well, so now you're done, right?
I'm done.
Did you cool down?
No.
No cool down.
I mean, I'm done now. I don't know if I need
Yeah.
to cool down. Maybe I should, but I'm not racing, so I don't have to worry about it. But
What's
maybe
the,
I will.
What's
We'll
the
see.
off-season plan? A week or two? Because now Vin, it's been passed over, right?
Yeah, it has been passed over. I gotta talk to Vin. It was his birthday 2 days ago, so happy belated birthday shout out to Coach Vin. But I'll give him a phone call. I'll figure out what the training's gonna look like, but probably like 7 to 10 days, I think.
And what do you do in those 7 to 10 days that you maybe wouldn't have done in full training?
More Wawa.
Yeah, more food, more free time. Probably watch some more TV. I'm just gonna relax. I feel like it's been a long season. My legs need some rest. Like it's one of those things where they're definitely feeling a little more tired and a little more sore than normal after every race. But once you get out there, they feel fine. But it's a sign I need a rest. So I'm gonna take it easy and just enjoy my week off.
Any Martin family vacation plans or anything?
I don't know. I feel like we've been so busy running around. Like they go to all the track meet stuff with me, so it's like when we go to track meets, it is our vacation. So we might go down the shore for a week or so, but nothing crazy. Just kind of chilling in the area. And we'll be down in Charlottesville for orientation, so definitely still some travel.
Yeah.
What's the best cheesesteak in Philly? I'm sure all the other kids are coming up like, Gary, where are we going after this?
I don't know. if I gave a definitive answer, I feel like I'd be faking it because like I'm from like 40 minutes outside of Philly, so I'm not in Philly getting the cheesesteaks all the time. Like I come down, I get one maybe once a year. So I think Pat's is the one we usually go to. Pat's Tony Luke's is good. We like Tony Luke's. That's a good one. But
How do you take it? Without?
cheese wit and with onions.
Classic.
We have to do the Wawa order with him after this.
Yeah.
Well, Gary, congrats again. Let's do one of these at NCAA's with another title. And,
That sounds good.
And we'll just keep
I
this
love
rolling.
it. I'll come on the pod whenever. I love being on it. So
We'll give you your own pod.
I'm now
suited
a
up.
subscriber
Gary
to.
Martin podcast.
I'm a subscriber to the lap count now too. So
Yeah.
All right,
Hell
Gary. The fans love you. We love you. Enjoy the rest. Enjoy your break.
thank you guys. I will.
All right. Gary
Take the
Martin,
spikes
everybody.
off.
Thank
yeah,
you. Yeah.
take the spikes off. Give them away to a fan or something. Like, no, actually, probably not.
Go start a spike tree.
These are my cross country spikes. My other ones ripped, so I had to go back to these.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.